Alrighty, we're going to do some decorative lighting today. Here in the country I was born in, we use 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps, 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare or the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a switch loop that's 110, 120 volt, or in a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. So we're going to put up a nice decorative light here. We're in a beautiful luxury apartment complex, and this is the clubhouse. And I'm going to put a nice decorative light up above a chair where people can sit and read and look at magazines. Okay, so we'll set our box up here like this and about right here. To the side so it looks nice. We'll place it. Like that. Okay, so we'll drill our hole here. Okay, that's probably enough because it's very soft, so I'll take my keyhole saw. Oh, I have to drill my bit. So we'll see if our box fits up here. Fit in here nice and snug. Good that way. Okay, we got our hole cut for our box to fit in here nice and snug. Now we got to cut our notch for this here. Okay, so now we got to drill our hole up here to get back into this area. I hate that noise. I'll cut our MC cable here. Careful not to cut into your wires. Score it like this, and just pop it over like that, and take it off. We'll do the same thing on the other end. Score it like that, and just pop it back like that, and take it off like that. Okay, what I like to do is I take my side cutters here, and I like to get rid of my sharp edge here. See how that came off there like that? I just take my sharp edge off like that, and I have a sharp edge over here, so I'll cut that off. I have another one over. This piece might be able to be just taken right out altogether here. So we just take that out like that. So we have one sharp edge left here, so we'll shorten that down a little bit. And this is called an anti-short bushing. You put it in your MC cable like this, and you just push it down in. It can be tricky sometimes to put it in. I see a sharp edge sticking over right here. So I'll take my side cutters. I'll come up along this edge here and get this sharp edge off of here like that. Make sure any obstruction is out of the way. And we'll try again. There we go. We got it to go down in where we want it. But see how it's binding up here? Yeah, just keep playing with it until you get it to go in. Just keep pushing on it. Okay, so I got it to go in, so it's all nice and seated down into the cable the way we want it. Now if we have some electrical tape, I like to put a little electrical tape around it, but if we don't have it, we don't have any, so it's not required, but I personally like to put a little around that to hold it in place. So I'm going to look back here and see if I have a piece. If I don't, I don't. I'm not going to get upset. Okay, so fortunately we did have a piece of electrical tape here. So I'll take, and I'll just go around the bottom of this cable here. So I want to make sure that bushing stays right in place so that nothing moves around in there and gets shorted out. Okay, so we'll stick our cable up into here where we got to go to our light fixture. This will come around and go down to our switch over here. Down. We'll bring it into our box here. We'll clamp it on the metal and not on the wires. Here we got our cable clamped in there. Put our box up into our ceiling here. Nice and tight. Make sure our clamp is nice and tight up here. There we go. We got our box up here. screw our box up into the ceiling here. Okay, so this is the bracket our fixture is going to go to. We have a ground screw on it that's going to ground the box and our device. So we're going to use this one. So we'll screw down the rest of the way. Okay, now we can get our fixture ready to hook up. So I have to adjust my loop to go around that green screw so that the copper is under the screw head and the insertion is not pinched. So this is our fixture we're going to be putting on the wiring here. I'm going to clip off the older work here. There's just, so I'm going to have a nice fresh connection. I like to strip a little extra off so I get a nice wrap around the solid wires. So get our black wire stripped, our white wire stripped. Make sure I end it straight here. So what I will do is I'll take my black wire, get my insulation even at the top here like this. I'll wrap my strands around the solid wire like this here. Get the copper even at the bottom and our insulation even at the top. So it looks like this here. Insulation even at the top, copper even at the bottom. Put our wire nut on, make sure insulation goes into the bottom of the wire nut. I'll do the same with our white wire, get our insulation even at the bottom like this here. And our strands. And I'll wrap it around our solid wire like this. Make sure our wire nut's nice and tight. So we have nice connections like this here. And we'll fold our wires up into our box, get them up into our box all the way. Here in the country I was born in, all splices must be made inside of the box. And now we'll just took our ground wire out. We'll just do the same thing here. Wrap our strands around the solid wire like this. Get our copper even at the bottom, stick our wire nut on here. So it looks like that. And we'll just push our wire up into our box here. Okay, so now we can put our light up onto our canopy here. Make sure our wire stays in the canopy here. Let's put our little balls on here. Our decorative little ball to hold our light up on the ceiling. If it goes all cockeyed, you don't get all upset, you don't frustrate, you just play with it until you get it. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. Well, we got one. And we'll play with this one a little more, see if we can get it to go on. And if we can't, we can't. We're not going to get upset. Well, it's not going to go, so we're going to get 632 nut, and we'll just put a 632 nut on it. force it, it's going to strip everything out and it'll be a mess and ruin. Okay, we got our 632 nut on here. Now let's put our decorative nut on here, and if it catches, it catches, and I'll just leave it. Hey, it went. Alright, so now we can put our globe on here. This is a nice light fixture I found along the road for free, and came out to be a really nice light. Okay, so we're going to get power from this box. And take our fire extinguisher off so it's out of our way here. And we'll stick our anti-short bushing in on this side. Let's cut off our short edge here. Get our bushing to go in. Get in nice and flush with the cable like that there. And this is the box we're going to tap into to get power from. Unfortunately, all these are three quarters on the side, so I'm going to have to unscrew the box. And rotate it. I'm glad I looked before I put it all together. So we'll come off of this one. Oh, all of them are 3/4. No, that's a half. Now this one's a half right here. Okay, now if this was outdoors, I would be gluing this, but since it's indoors, I don't have to worry about that. And the switch is going to go right here. Okay, so we'll put our conduit connector on our box here. It just goes in like this. Get nice and snug like that here. Stick our box on here like this. We'll get our box nice and straight here. We'll put our screw here. Okay. Now we gotta find a green screw to put in here. Because according to the NEC, we have to bond to our box and our device. Way up here. Okay, this is a snap-in MC cable connector here, so we'll pop that in the top of our box. Pops in like that. Our bushing is all in place here, but I'm going to put a ground wire on our green screw here. Because it'll be easier to work with before I put this wire into the box. So I'll put it in. You always shape your loop the direction the screw is going to turn. Make sure you don't get your insulation caught under the screw head. Make sure it's nice and tight. Insulation is not caught under the screw head, which it isn't. Yeah, it got caught under there a little bit, so I'm going to take it out. See how it started to overlap a little bit? You don't want that. Cut it off. Strip it a little longer here. Make my loop the direction the screw turns. A nice loop like this. Put it in here. Make sure it's nice and tight. And now we'll take our plastic off of the wire down into our connector here. Push down nice and snug. We'll put an MC cable clamp here. We'll get a couple more up higher. Okay, so we'll feed our two live conductors through. We have white, which is neutral, red, which is live. We can get a green wire out of this green field here. We'll save those wires, we're not throwing them away. Put our green in here for our ground. Then I'll cut a piece to go to our switch. So we'll get our green wires together here. We can use a wago for this. You can use one of these push-in connectors. Now it's only a ground wire, so we don't have to be so critical about the insulation being in, but I'm going to do it that way anyway, so that you can see how it's done with live wires too. So what I do is I hold my wago up to the device, make sure my insulation goes in and my copper goes up to the top. Make sure the copper gets up to the top and the insulation gets into the bottom. So that's a perfect length for this one. This one's a perfect length. Oops, I need a 4 because I have to have the 1 for the switch. So here's a 4. Okay, that one's going to be a little short. So I'll strip a little more off. Okay, so I'll push them in. I'll hold it up, make sure our copper goes up to the top and our insulation gets to the bottom. Push it in, make sure you see the insulation in the bottom here and the copper up at the top. Same with this one. Push it in, you see the insulation in the bottom and the copper up at the top. That's what you want. This one. Copper all the way up at the top here and our insulation in the bottom. And we'll do the same with our switch. Flip it to the right length here. Push it in the bottom. Copper is all the way up at the top and you see your insulation in the bottom here. So now we can push all our ground wires down into our box. Nice and snug to the back of our box here. Now we'll get our 2 white wires together here. We could use either one, a wire nut or a wago. And we'll use a wire nut. So you can see how both types are used. Okay, so we'll get our insulation lined up here at the bottom. Twist them. If they're nice and even at the bottom, if they're not even, you can just clip them like that to make them even. And our insulation's even here at the bottom. We'll take our wire nut, put it on here. And we'll fold our wire into the box. Get it back out of the way of everything here. This is a very nice rocker type switch here. It has the pressure plate twist and lock type connections. So first we'll put our ground wire around our green screw here. Make sure our copper is under the screw head all the way. So I'm going to just loosen it up, pull it forward a little bit. Make sure it's nice and tight. And I see on the switch it says 120 volt and 277 volts, so it is a very high quality, and it's the commercial grade light switch. I'll bring the camera up closer so you can see better. Okay, you can see how the ground wire, the copper is under the screw head all the way around the way it should be. Now we'll strip our black and our red. We'll just take a little bit off. You always strip with the hole that matches the wire size. Now we'll turn our switch around. And you'll see where it says top up here. So we're going to put it in like this. So we're going to fold our wire up to the pressure plate. Make sure it's not too long. Get it under our pressure plate like that. Make sure it's nice and snug like that. And our copper is under the pressure plate all the way and our insulation is not pinched. And we'll do the same with our red wire. Make sure it's long enough. Get it up under the pressure plate. But you don't want to get the insulation under there. You just want to get the copper all the way up to the top. Make sure it's nice and tight, and see how you just see a very little bit of copper here and our insulation just comes up close. Now we can fold our wires into our box. We'll push our red up and our black down. And we'll just push them back into the box here carefully so that nothing gets cut open. And we'll put a screw in the bottom here. It's not going to hit any wires here. If I can't find that screw, I'm not going to get upset, but I did happen to find it. And make sure it's not going to hit back here, and it isn't. I'll put it in by hand. It's not hitting anything. Here in the country I was born in, down is on, or down is off, up is on, down is off. Now we're ready to hook up over here. Okay, so now we'll try to get this crimp sleeve off of here. See if we can add our ground in with this. Oh, that came off pretty easy. And we'll get our green ground wire here. We'll strip it back. Push it back into here. Get it up into here. And we'll clip them so they're all nice and even. So I want the wire nut to grab all three. Now we'll hook our white in with the white wires here. Get them in there nice and even here. Wow, all three came out perfectly even down here on the end. That was really nice. Now I don't have to cut that one, so I'll put my wire nut on, make sure my insulation is going up into the bottom of the wire nut. Nice and tight. I'll get that ready to go down into here. Now hook our live wire up to the red. So we'll get our insulation even here at the bottom. And I'm going to open this twist up a little bit so it goes in better. Okay, nice even twist. I opened the twist up a little bit to get it to go in. And again, it came out nice and even. I'll look at my red on the other side. It's even with the insulation. Our copper is even down here on the end. So we'll stick our wire nut on and make sure our insulation is going into the wire nut. Okay, now we can push our wires into our box here. Put our whites down in the bottom. And we'll put our reds and our blacks up here at the top. I'm going to make sure our screws aren't going to hit any of the wires, and keep our ground wires down away from everything here. Okay, that's not going to hit over here, and that's not going to hit any wires there. Make sure nothing's going to be pinched anywhere. If I had my little light, I'll look and make sure. I'm just going to make sure our screws aren't going to hit any wires, and nothing's going to get pinched. And now we'll just put our screws back in. One here. 1, 2, make sure no wires are pinched anywhere. Okay, so now we'll just stick a couple of clamps on here to help hold it down in place. You just have to learn to love things like that. You just gotta learn to love it. If you don't love it, it makes you angry and you end up taking God's name in vain. He hates things. So just learn to love it and enjoy it. Cover on here like this. Hopefully these screws fit. They don't. We're not going to get upset though. We're not going to carry on. We'll just go buy some more. They are junk, so we'll just buy some more. We have the smaller cover. That one will fit there a lot nicer. So now let's go get a light bulb and test this out. Okay, we'll turn our switch off. Put a bulb up in here. I don't know if this bulb is any good, so we'll see. Yes, it's good. So that is how to wire a decorative light here in the country I was born in. Peace. Thanks for watching.